Today's video is going to talk about positioning as a melee hero. Now, before I jump into like one of my games and I use that as an example like I normally do, I want to first explain how the camera visually sees things in the game because this will better help you understand how you're going to position and where you're going to attack from as a melee hero. You'll know that if you've been playing this game for long enough that you can use the third person camera to have an advantage to peek around corners and see what's in front of you. This is one of the benefits of this type of camera is that you can use it to your advantage in a strategical way, but what you can also do is remember that what the camera can see is limited to a cone in front of you, right? But what you can't see and the disadvantages are that to the sides and right above you, you have blind spots, right? If I were to attack Luna from this angle here, you can see that if I rotate my camera, we can
Hostile
each see
coming in
each other,
fast.
which means all of my abilities are telegraphed and they're going to be able to see me coming, right? So attacking someone head on is extremely dangerous. So even as a melee hero, you still want to off angle. But the thing is, the advantages that you have is that attacking from the side, the back, and up right up above are blind spots, right? Because if I'm looking at Luna here, I will see her and she will see me the entirety of the time. But now look what happens when I put her to the side. How close do I need to be on the side before eventually I start to see her? That close, right? You have to be really, really close before the camera actually picks up your location or where you are if you're coming from the side. And the same is true if you are attacking from above. And I'll use Storm as an example for that. Okay, so now we have an aerial opponent, somebody who's above us in the air. How close do you need to be before you eventually enter into that person's camera? This close. It's a tiny bit farther before you're seen, but you still have to be relatively close before the camera actually sees you, whether you're coming in from above or the sides. This is your greatest advantage as a melee hero because closing that gap is the hardest thing. And if they see you, they will start to back away. But you have an advantage in the fact that they won't see you for quite a while if you attack from either side, the back, or right above. Now I'll jump into one of my games where I'll use magic as an example of how to attack and what angles to attack from as a melee hero. With melee heroes, the advantage to playing them is that they have very deadly combos on single high priority targets. They don't do very good at dishing out a lot of damage over time. So who you assassinate and who you prioritize in the fight is very, very important. And if you've seen me to ever talk about your typical shooter types like Hello or even Psylocke, you always want to try and find off angles to try and deny enemy cover. With melee heroes, it's very similar, only that instead of trying to get those off angles to apply pressure, you're getting an off angle to try and get an assassination. And here in this game, you're going to see me play magic and how I'm constantly sort of rotating around my team and using those off angles and using, like I said before with the previous examples, about how you want to take advantage of what their camera can see and take advantage of what blind spots their camera can't see.
Just the battle starts
So
in
here,
five,
as the game starts, I
four,
immediately go up to the high ground to sort of get an idea of what the enemy has. I notice that Widow is up here, so I'm going up to try and immediately sort of find that off angle, right? I'm going for an assassination attempt on a high priority target who's not paying attention to me. I see the Widow, I peek, and I step back, right? As I step back, she takes the shot. I knew that she was there because I took the high ground advantage. I saw what she was doing. And just like before, in my other videos where I talk about playing around cover and abusing the fact that she can only see me, because right now I'm safe. The only person who could possibly have hit a shot was Widow. Everyone else is down below. I was still using this as cover. I stepped knowing that the sniper was going to want to fire the shot and then backed away as soon as it did, keeping me safe and allowing me to continue moving on. And here, I'm not getting impatient. Patience is the biggest thing you need to have as a melee hero because when you engage and who you engage on is super important. If you engage too early, they're all going to turn on you and they're going to blow you up and they're going to kill you right away. Here in this situation, the convoy is still moving. I'm playing patient and I'm just waiting for my chance to go in, but I can't go in too early and I can't go in too late. Groot knows I'm here, so I immediately apply a demon to the door to try and hack away at it. The demon for magic is really, really good at sort of destroying destructibles quickly. So anytime there's a Groot wall or a rocket alt, I'm usually going to place the demon down if I can, if there's nothing else to do, to try and destroy that so that I can help my team. Here, convoy is still moving. I'm not playing aggressive. I'm waiting for my right time to go in. Looking for an off angle. I use my right click in order to get some alt charge. And the moment they start looking at me and they start applying damage, I'm immediately going to back up again. I don't want to take a fight with the front line because brawling at the front line doesn't really give you an advantage as a melee hero. Like, you just don't do enough damage to really apply pressure to tanks that the supports just can't out heal immediately. So once I'm spotted, I immediately just get out and I leave. Knowing that knowing I'm still paying attention and they're still focusing on me, I'm going to just play safe. I'm waiting for my time to engage, right? I grab a health pack and I'm looking for an opportunity to go in. And this is that opportunity right here. That blind spot that I was telling you about before is happening right now. And if we take a look from a bird's eye view and we take a look at what the enemy can see, right? If we look from, let's say, Rocket's perspective, his camera works like this, right? He can see anywhere in this area. What he can't see is the blind spots in all of these areas. So what you're going to do as a melee hero is you're going to try and find ways to get around and get closer by using those blind spots. Using your abilities to get in is very dangerous because you need to have abilities to get out as well. But if you come in from these different angles, you don't have to use as many abilities in order to close that gap. You can walk in patiently and then start attacking and then use those abilities to either help get you to execute or you can use them to get out. I place a demon in, I hit my E, I do damage, I get my pick, and I get out. Knowing that I got my pick and my abilities are on cooldown and they're all turning their attention towards me, I just want to leave. Take your advantage and get out. Here, once again, it worked before. I'm going to try the same thing again. I go in from the side. I see the mantis and I go for her. I messed up here and I get slept. What I should have done is I should have known that the sleep was on its way and used my portal to bait it by immediately using the portal as soon as Mantis looked at me. I thought maybe I could get the combo off. I thought maybe she had already used the sleep and she didn't. And because of it, I paid the price. I had the advantage for my team and then I immediately threw it by dying right afterwards. At the very least, there's pressure applied, so luckily the fight is still going on. At least I got one pick before I died. It would have been better if I didn't, though. Throwing out my right clicks constantly to try and get some ult charge. Once again, I'm attacking from those blind spots. I'm up in the air. I'm off to the side. It's much harder to see me. Widow is scoped in. She can't see me. Emma Frost is pointing this direction. Rocket is pointing this way. They're unaware that I'm already back. Attacking from the back, I see Rocket. I'm attacking him. And now, once again, now that he's dropped his amplifier, like I said before, the demons do a really good job at shredding these things. So I immediately try to help out my team by destroying this as fast as I can. The thing is very, very scary to Magic, so I am just trying to get out. I am always prioritizing staying alive, and once he comes for me again, knowing he doesn't have a slam, I'm immediately going to use my uppercut to try and get out because he has bad vertical mobility, and I get away from him so I can try and do the same thing I was doing before, which is trying to find an off angle, try and find a blind spot, and attack someone squishy so I can give our team the advantage, and then just overpower them with numbers. I mess up my right click. I'm looking for my time to go in. I see the res station. I figure this is a great time to destroy that. My team is engaging in, and now that I know that I have a safe chance to go in, I'm going to try and someone on the back line again. I get the cloak and dagger, and I immediately try to get out. Once again, you get your pick, and then you leave until your cooldowns come back. You have, as a melee hero, you have great combos to try and assassinate someone. But once your cooldowns are gone, you want to try and wait until you can get them back. You still have plenty of time. The cooldown on Magic's uppercut is 9 seconds. It takes someone about 30 seconds to come back from spawn, so you can play patiently and wait until they're back to re-engage when it's safer. Throw my right click, hoping to get her. She's already dead. But now that we have the numbers advantage, now I can brawl the tanks. Now I can fight the front line. It's not great to try and fight and attack the front line because however much damage you might do as a melee hero is not enough to outdo the amount of sustain that's going to come from supports. People who just dish out damage like Punisher or Hela can do great at just overpowering the front line at times. Magic isn't that way, and same with most melee heroes, because most melee heroes can only do really great damage on single priority targets. So here, now we have the advantage, it makes cleaning up the tanks a lot easier.
I really didn't want it to end this way, Ben. You can count on us, Spider.
I'm immediately going forward to try and take space. I want to try and help deny space from the enemy so that way the convoy can move up safely. And as my tank goes one direction, I'm choosing to go another direction. I'm not playing too impatient though. I am waiting for the right time to engage. When they see me and they know they're coming from that direction, I try and find a different angle. Here I'm walking around. Once again, I hear the turret up. I know the convoy is still moving. I know my team needs help by alleviating some of that pressure from that Punisher, right? So I dash up, I dash to the side, and once again, blind spot. He can't see me from this direction. I ult from the back line to create space. And I immediately get a really fantastic ult, which helps clean up the enemy team and allows us to have more space moving forward. If I were to have just ulted and gone in from the front line, they would have focused me, killed me, and I would have died immediately. By coming in from the sides and around the back, I gave myself an opportunity to ult while I was already in their back line, so I didn't have to do a lot of work to try and close that gap, catching them off guard, allowing me to get a lot of high priority picks here.
I got you. That's 3.
Straight to your soul.
Now I'm just going in to deny space.
Come, my
Emma
minion.
is scary, so I try to not take fights with her.
I was in trouble.
And because of it, the convoy was able to push through that second point with ease. And once again, see how I'm taking off angles here? I'm doing the same thing I would do as if I was on Hela or Punisher, which I'm trying to find an off angle in which to attack from, but only instead of using it to apply pressure, I'm using it to try and find a priority assassination attempt.
Limbo.
Here, they see me, so I'm just trying to get away. Mantis is asleep. I'm trying to play safe. I don't want to engage. I have low health. I probably want to get that back up before I go in. And here, I mess up and I get confused because I thought I was in the other room and in the other doorway, and the health pack isn't in this room.
Plasma burst.
So I die.
Grand finale.
Mistakes were made.
My soul is stubborn. Survive.
Once again, my team is attacking from the front. I'm trying to find an off angle.
Jury! Executioner!
She sees me and I back away.
I like the cold.
We back out, hearing Judge, Jury, and Executioner. And all we want to do is just wait until that ult runs out. And then once it runs out and my team goes back to re-engage, now I can go with them.
I got you.
I see Punisher off to the side
Have fun.
and isolated. I apply pressure. And as all the ults are going off, I know I can't kill anything in that Mantis ult, so I'm giving them space, giving it time.
Oh,
Punisher is really scary up close, so I try and find another target. I go back in.
us against the world.
Seeing all these ults go off, there's not a whole lot I can do. I don't have enough damage to kill through a support ult without my ult as well, so I'm just playing patiently, waiting for my team. They know I'm here, and I'm just trying to play as patient as possible.
Our enemies are near.
Once my team engages and creates a little bit of a distraction,
I like the cold.
Go have fun.
now I can try and do something. Punisher is scary though, so I go for the support instead. Supports are much easier to kill. I do damage, I force some abilities. When it's not safe and I know I can't get the execute, I just leave. It's better to try and do some damage, force some abilities, and then just try and prioritize surviving than it is to try and greed for a kill. Because it was much easier to do that than it was to try and keep focusing on her. So grabbing the health pack and going back in was the much smarter and safer play. And once again, I got the pick, and now I'm going back to help my team out.
How embarrassing.
Seeing the convoy is still moving up, I'm doing that quick check. You're going to see me do that a lot in times in games where I do a quick look back to try and remember, like, okay, where's the convoy? Where's my team? Okay, and then I walk forward and I relay to my team, like, here's what's happening. Like, we might not have support. And now we have Luna coming with us.
Sniper. I got you.
Once again, remember that blind spot I was talking about, like right above you? Widow is scoped in, trying to take shots, and I know, and having seen her go around that backside, I dashed up in the air and used a portal to try and get above her and into that blind spot.
Snipers in limbo.
I got my advantage, and now I leave.
My anger is
I s-
Charge.
We already have the advantage. I'm not greedy. I don't want to take a brawl with the magic and just see if I can ego duel her. We already have the advantage. So I go back to a spot that's much safer where I can be within the LOS of my team, where I can help them out, and we could just use our numbers advantage.
I unleash the Vishanti. Your powers are mine!
Hearing that Strange had ulted, it was time to go in, so I tried to immediately follow up on that, but they followed up with a support ult. Once again, just like before, blind spot. Scene I had learned from the first time where I got slept. The moment that she looked at me, I immediately portaled, expecting to sleep just in case. Now that the support ult is run out, I go back in. Really fantastic grab by our Emma there. And that's first round.
Score is
Easily done.
0.
Here on defense, I am trying to do my usual normal thing where I stall the convoy if I can.
Limits. And that's saying something.
I'm letting my team pull attention. I'm waiting for the right time to go in. I see the res station that's there, and I really want to prioritize that. I'm not moving, so that way they don't hear me. All the times I see people in the game constantly shuffling and moving their feet around. The more you move, the better chance they have of hearing you. If they haven't spotted you yet, don't move. Just wait for your time to go in. Remember, they can't see me from those blind spots. Immediately destroy the res station, which is huge for us. Attack from the blind spot. Apply pressure and get out. I see the Punisher. I'm abusing the third-person camera. I get a quick and easy kill, and then I leave. I don't have my cooldowns. I get out. Whether I get the kill or not, if my cooldowns are gone, I need to try and play safe until they come back. I'm once again still rotating around my team. I'm applying pressure. I'm throwing out right clicks to get my ult charge off. Did you see how now I'm starting to take damage? I'm taking damage because I'm within their LOS. They can see me now. They're going to try and start shooting at me. This is not the best place for me to be. But I am just standing here to make sure that I can figure out where I want to go. And when I do figure it out, I go from, once again, I loop around to side. Attack from the side. I miss my E, I mess it up, and I get out. It's okay. Seeing that we lost Mag, I try to help out my tank at the front line because she's going to start taking a lot of heat and a lot of pressure. It's not the best idea, but it does buy time. I am not normally wanting to brawl the tanks at the front. Magic's pretty good at it, but I'm not going to be securing any kills this way. What I am going to do is I'm going to just sort of help out my front line a little bit so that way I can give us a little time for our other tank to come back from spawn. Once again, though, once I feel I can, I start looking for another off angle. Here, I get spotted, though.
It's the grand finale.
A lot of ults going off, but there's just not a good time to engage right now.
Keep going.
I had tried to portal, and the Onk had, like, messed me up and pulled me back in, which is the reason why I died there. I stayed in that area too long, which is the reason why that I died. I thought I could loop back around, but I should have left and found a different location to attack from, or just pulled back with my team. Coming back, I throw out right clicks to try and get some ult charge. I'm up on the high ground to try and see who I should go for. Once again, all blind spots right now. Every one of them is looking forward. No one's looking up, so I am safe. Stopping the convoy from moving, I can see that Mr. Fantastic is bouncing on them, creating a lot of space, a lot of pressure. As long as Emma doesn't have diamond form, then I'm okay. I use my ult to go in. They all start to back up as soon as they hear it. Probably not the best ult, and that was just a really, really nice shot by Widow. I should have done like I did the first time, where I used my mobility to try and get farther behind them, and then ult from a better location, so that way I could push them back into my team, rather than them backing up to safety.
Almost there. Back now.
That's a lot of damage, just trying to stay alive. Here, we need to touch, and I know that I can get in there quickly. My tanks don't have good mobility. I am using my mobility to try and get in there so I can stop the payload. This is where the tank's job is to try and, contest space, try and keep the convoy from going anywhere. But sometimes your tank can't do the job. So what I need to do temporarily, even though I'm not as good at it, is get in there with my mobility to hold the space down for my tank then to close that gap and start holding the convoy for me, and then we can trade places. So right here, now that I know my tanks are in here, now I can start doing what I need to do, which is assassinating targets. I see Widow off to the side, so I go up and around. Once again, the same blind spots I was talking about. In the support ult, I'm probably not going to kill anything with my regular combos, but I look to see who's outside of the support ult, and I know that Widow has blind spots. Seeing now that she's looking at me, I have to play safe. Knowing I got headshot before, I know that she's a scary Widow player. Once I get the kill, though, now I can go help my team. And just like before, I'm immediately going for the rocket ult. I'm in my cloak and dagger ult, so I know it's safe. And now it's just brawl cleanup. Aiming for the squishy targets first. Get the rocket. Get the cloak and dagger. And then getting the Widow. Once again, attacking from those blind spots. Body blocking to try and keep them from entering in. I probably should have placed a demon by the portal. Like that. Now it's just cleanup.
Get in there.
But you saw how, from the examples I showed in the practice range, attacking from the sides, up above, from behind is a great way to close that gap and still being mindful of cover, that you can get in and get those execution attempts. You can use your combos to their fullest extent without needing to use a bunch of abilities to get in. Once they see you and they know what direction you're coming from, they're going to be prepared for you. You need to be very patient. You still need to find off angles in which to attack from. But those off angles are different, where you're not just applying pressure, you're taking an off angle so you can sneak in. So that way you don't have to use a bunch of abilities to get in. You don't have to, and you make sure that you have abilities to get out. Melee heroes are super, super fun because if you have good game sense and poor aim, you can win and rank up in a lot of your games because of the fact that what you lack in your ability, mechanical ability to aim, maybe you have better ability in terms of your strategizing and understanding of positioning and priority targets. This is what makes hero shooters so fun for everyone, because not everyone wants to just click heads all the time. Some people like to play melee heroes. Some people are coming from fighting games where they like combos. Some people are coming from Counter-Strike or Valorant, where maybe clicking heads is what they enjoy doing. Hero shooters have a type of playstyle for everyone. I personally really love dive heroes. I love melee heroes. I'm not very good at just clicking heads. It doesn't really appeal to me. But my ability to find priority targets, to sneak around and come up with a strategy and play patient is what I excel at. So picking up dive heroes and hero shooters has always been my go-to. And I hope that from seeing this video and watching my other ones, you understand still how to position around cover to deny the enemy LOS from seeing you, but also now for melee heroes, the advantage you have of abusing blind spots of what their cameras can and cannot see. Anyway, that's what I have for magic and what I have for melee heroes and how to position. If you found this helpful, please let me know. And if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments. And once again, thank you for watching.